The next thing we're going to talk about is roulette. Roulette is in this book a little bit, and roulette is also my favorite game to play, even over craps. So I want to make sure you understand what roulette is. So roulette is a wheel, and then they put a ball, and it spins around and around, and it stops on one of the numbers. So how many spaces are on a roulette wheel? There's 38 spots on a roulette wheel. You have the numbers 1 through 36, the number 0, and the number 00. Okay? On the roulette wheel, there's 18 reds and 18 blacks, but that's only 36. There's also 2 greens. That's your 0 and your 00. So there's 18 even numbers and there's 18 odd numbers on the wheel. That's the numbers 1 through 36. Half of them are even, half of them odd. And then again, we're not counting 0 as even in this case. So how do you do a payout for roulette? Well, roulette's payouts are done by odds, which are directly related to probabilities, but not quite probabilities. So let's look at the far outside. You could bet the first 18, even, red, black, odd, or 19 to 36. Let's think about the probability or odds of getting those right. So how many of the numbers are 1 to 18? Well, that's 18 of the numbers out of the total 36 numbers. So if I said, what is the probability of getting a number 1 through 18, it would actually be 18 out of the 38 total possible, which use a calculator to simplify that. And I want to do decimal approximation here. I want you to get the real number version of this. I'm getting 0.47 approximately, which is approximately a 47% chance of getting that. So you have less than a 1/2 chance, 1/2 probability of getting the numbers 1 through 18. So how do they actually do payouts? Well, payouts, they act like the 0 and the 00 don't exist. So they actually say it's 18 of 36 totals possible, which is not true, but that's what they say, which simplifies to 1/2. So how does the pay work? The pay works as odds. You have one chance that you win, and you have one chance that you lose. Again, this is the 2 total possible ways that you could do. You either get the number 1 out of 18, or you don't get the 1 out of 18. So that's what they're saying right here is the 1-to-1. So if you bet $1, you get your dollar back, and you win another $1, which gives you your total of $2. So think about the even numbers. Even numbers would be the exact same. There's 18 of the 36 numbers are even, which is a probability of 1/2, which is an odds of 1-to-1. So those are going to pay out. For every $1 you bet, you get your dollar back, plus you make $1. So if you made a $10 bet, you would get your $10 back plus $10 profit, or 20 total dollars. Same thing on red and black. There's 18 of each of those. There's 18 odd numbers, and then there's 18 numbers from 19 to 36. So any of these outside bets right here have a odds or probability of 18 out of 36 to them. We know that's not really true. It's really 18 out of 38, but how they pay it is 1-to-1. A dollar bet would win $1. Let's look at that next row, this middle row right here. The first 12, second 12, third 12, or we could do the first row, second row, or third row. When we look at every single one of those, if you look at the actual odds, what's the probability of getting the first 12? The probability of getting a first 12? Well, that would be 12 of the 38, but that's not what they do. What they do for payout is they want to pay you less. So they're going to do they're going to say the probability of the first 12, which we know is not true. But they're going to say, look at the numbers. It is 12 of the 36 total numbers. 12 of the 36 simplifies to 1/3. So what are the odds? 1 out of every 3 you win. So if you look at the odds, it's 1 win to 2 losses. So what does that mean? That means if you bet $1, they're going to give you $2. So not only do you get your dollar back, but you get $2. So again, if I bet $10, I would get my $10 back, plus I would get double that, which is $20. So I'd walk away with $30. I bet 10, I walk away with 30, so that's a $20 profit. So anything that's on this next line, which is the first 12, second 12, third 12, or any of those columns right there, each have a probability. Well, it's not a true probability, but they say a probability of 1236. That's not true, which is 1 to 3 is a simplified probability, which gives us an odds of 1 win to 2 losses. That's the 3 total. So for every dollar you bet, you make $2. So that's what the next one was about right there. The next thing that you could do is bet on an individual number. Think about picking any one of the individual numbers. Even though we know it's 1 of 38, the way that they're going to pay it is they're going to look at it as 1 over 36, which means if we look at odds, it's $1 that you win, or 1 chance that you win, 35 chances that you lose. So for every dollar you bet, you would get that dollar back, plus you would make $35. So if you bet $10 on an individual number and you hit it, you would get that $10 back, plus you would get another $350. So that's what this next one says right here. If you bet on a single number, 1 out of 36 is how they calculate the probability, even though we know that's wrong. So that means 1 win to 35 losses. That's what my odds are, which gives us a total of, if you bet $1, you would get that dollar back plus 35 more. Another bet you could do is called a split bet. So what would a split bet be? A split bet would be like right here, where you're betting between 2 numbers. So let's think about what would your probability be if you did that. This is not the real probability. This is how they calculate it. They're saying your probability of winning is 236. We know it's 238, but they say 236. 236 simplifies to 1/18. So what does that mean? That means if you bet $1, you have 1 chance of winning. Out of 18 total possible, you have 17 chances of losing. So if you bet $1, they give you your dollar back plus 17 more. If you bet $10, you get $10 back plus $170. So that's what a split bet is when you bet between any 2 of them. Another type of bet you could do is called a corner bet. So what's a corner bet? A corner bet would be like right here. It's the corner between 4 numbers. So again, let's think about their math. It's wrong, but let's think about it. That would be 4 of the 36. We know it's really 4 of the 38. 4 over 36 is going to simplify to 1/9. So they're saying there's 9 total events that occur. In one of them you win. So you win $1, or you win one of them, you lose 8 of them. So that's how they calculate the total. So if you bet $1, you would get that dollar back, plus they would give you 8 more. Again, if you bet $10, you would get that $10 back, plus you would win $80. So it would be an $80 profit. So that's what the odds for a corner bet are and how they pay them out. That's your payouts. 0 and 00, they calculate a little differently, but all the numbers and all the bets that you can do on the board, it's a lot of fun because you can place multiple bets. A lot of fun when you go to Vegas or any casino and actually play roulette. So let's look at this. Again, now what we're going to determine is the real probabilities. This is not the probabilities that they use. When they calculate their odds for winning, they use the number 36 as the denominator. We know that's not true. We know it's actually 38. Notice, if you changed it to 38, they would have to pay you more money. Of course, they don't want to do that. They're going to pay you less money. So let's look at real true probabilities here. What's the probability of getting a black number? Well, how many black numbers are there? There's 18 of the 38 total possible numbers. We're going to write these as simplified fractions. So go ahead with me. 18 over 38, does that simplify? Well, it seems to me that it simplifies to 9/19. Or let's look at it as a percentage. If we convert that to a decimal and then to a percentage, we have about a 47% chance of getting a black number. What about that third 12? What's our probability if we get it on the third 12? Well, the third 12 is exactly that. It's 12 of the numbers. And again, instead of 36, we actually have to consider the whole board here because we're doing true probabilities. So that'd be 12 of the 38. Simplify that. I'm getting 6 over 19. 6 over 19, let's convert that to a decimal or percentage. If I wrote that as a percentage, I'm getting approximately 32% chance of getting the third 12. What about if I just wanted to pick 6? One of my 2 favorite numbers to bet on is the number 6. What's the probability when I make that bet? Well, a 6 is one of the 38 total possible places. So what's my percentage chance of winning? Convert that to a percentage. So 1 divided by 38 in your calculator as a decimal. Then move the decimal to the right 2 or hit the percent button. And I'm ending up with approximately 2.6%. Anytime I bet on the number 6, I have about a 2.6% chance of winning. Horrible, horrible chance, yet I do it every damn time. How about a split between 11 and 14? Split between 11 and 14 means I'm betting both of those numbers, so I'm betting 2 of the 38 numbers. That simplifies to 1/19. 1/19, if we put into our calculator as a decimal, is approximately 5.3%. So anytime I bet a split, I have about a 5.3% chance of winning. What about a corner bet? A corner bet was betting 4 of the 38 numbers. Again, we're using 38 as the decimal, the real true probability, which gives me a total of 2/19. 2/19 as a percentage is approximately 10.5%. So there's my percentages, or my probabilities written as percentages, chance of each one of those bets. What you will notice in Vegas is no matter what the game is, no matter what the bet is, you will never have more than a 50% chance of winning. So what's your highest percentage chance of winning? Betting one of the ones that have essentially a 1/2 probability. It's not a true probability of 1/2, but betting the outsides gives you the highest probability of winning. That's the highest probability of winning, but if you notice, that's also the lowest payout of winning. So as your probability of winning goes up, the payout goes down. As your probability goes down, the payout goes up. That's one of the things you will notice when you gamble. Again, no bet you ever make in Vegas will ever have a probability more than 1/2. You will never have more than a 50% chance, or even a 50% chance of winning.